as we speak, Dr. Anthony Fauci, to use the term doctor loosely, is appearing before a House committee giving a report on the coronavirus known as COVID-19. Shows up with a mask promoting the Washington Nationals baseball team where he threw out the first pitch. Dr. Fauci, with his New York accent, is no hero. He's no individual who deserves, frankly, to be taken hook, line, and sinker with regard to what's going on. He's become enamored with his own celebrity. And I say celebrity only by the left, not by others. He has stabbed the President of the United States in the back by giving him incorrect information, by now advocating that we, in effect, wear helmets. It's unbelievable, as if we're going up in a SpaceX rocket. And this is the way the guy proceeds. And he starts off by saying that Europe has done better because everybody had to stay at home. But he doesn't point out the fact that Europe did not test the way the United States is now testing, and that's why the figures are higher. The guy is a whore. I mean, let's call it what it is. And here's the unfortunate thing, is that my client, Judy Mikovits, who worked with Fauci, knows that Fauci, along with the Obama administration, sent the virus lines that ultimately gave rise to COVID-19 to the Chinese. And Obama appropriated millions of dollars to have the communist Chinese government-owned laboratory in Wuhan do research on the line that was sent, the virus line, because that research would have been, according to Dr. Mikovits, illegal to conduct in the United States. Now, how does she know that? She knows that because she worked with Fauci at Fort Detrick, Maryland. That's the military's lab that studies viruses, allegedly for the purpose of combating them if there's a bioweapons attack. But in fact, the United States makes bioweapons as well. So do all countries in violation of international treaties. That's how anthrax got out. And that's not even controverted that got out of Fort Detrick. That was the strain that attacked us after 9/11. It was given by Bush the dad, a real genius, with Rumsfeld and Cheney, to Saddam Hussein to use against the Iranians as they were in a war. And we were adverse to the Iranians. They're having kidnapped our entire embassy during the administration of Ronald Reagan. Now, you're not going to hear any congressman, even Republican, ask Fauci about that. And why is that? Because the first rule of being a congressman, whether you're Democrat or Republican, is to protect yourself, not to protect the American people. They're a bunch of clowns. They're a bunch of court jesters, stuff money into their pockets, walking around in multi-$1,000 suits with gold cufflinks, appearing on Hannity and other Fox News shows if you're a Republican, appearing on CNN or MSNBC if you're a Democrat. These people are whores as well. That's why in my first book, Whores, Why and How I Came to Fight the Establishment, I discuss these issues, the intersection between the whores in Washington, D.C., the politicians, not the ones walking Las Vegas Boulevard, but the ones in Washington, D.C., and of course, the media. Now, my second book, which is now out on Amazon and on Barnes and Noble and all booksellers, it's called It Takes a Revolution. Forget the Scandal Industry. You can pre-order it. I urge you to do so. Talks about how the scandal industry, which is also generated by the whores on Capitol Hill. I could have named the book Whores 2, They're Back with Greater Vengeance. This deceives the American people. It lies to the American people. It leads them in the wrong direction because there's not going to be justice with regard to Comey or Mueller or anybody else with regard to the government. We know that because of the pushback that will occur on the Attorney General and also the administration. But it will occur with what we're doing at Freedom Watch, whether it's our COVID class action lawsuit in Dallas, Texas, or Jerusalem, Israel, our criminal complaint in The Hague, Holland, our case against social media. We have actually several of them, or the soon-to-be filed case against CNN for having defamed Dr. Judy Mikovits, who revealed the complicity of Fauci in sending over this virus line to the Chinese to have them do research, which they obviously then turned into a bioweapon, and it was released either accidentally or by design, destroying the United States and the world. Now, ask yourself the question, Here we are several months into the coronavirus, and the United States has failed to ask for compensation from China. That's the government. The president hasn't asked for compensation from China. He just simply shuts down a consulate in Houston. The president is allowing terrorists to run through the streets, and he sends just a few agents just simply to defend buildings. What's going on, Mr. President? You are president. Ronald Reagan would not have tolerated either of this. And I support you personally. But I'll tell you something, if you don't step up to the plate, and I've been saying this over and over again, you're going to be out the door in November. And then your crazy idea yesterday of postponing the election. I mean, it's okay if you postpone it maybe a little past November 5th, but still you can't not have an election that gives rise to a president being confirmed in office on January 20th, 2021. That's what happens in communist countries and dictatorships. You can't do that. Snap out of it. Get your act together. You're sinking faster than a rock right now. And this idiot, this brain-dead individual by the name of Joe Biden is now leading you in the polls. This guy may not even make it more than a few days past inauguration if he's elected. And then we'll wind up with someone like Kamala Harris or some other white male-hating in particular president that will divide this country further and push us into a major civil war. We don't want to see that. So take charge right now. Get rid of Fauci. Fauci's got a knife in your back. He's Brutus. And get some people in there like Dr. Judy Mikovits. At least listen to her. At least listen to her. Not this clown with a New York accent. I have nothing against New Yorkers, but frankly, the accent's not very attractive coming out of Fauci, wearing masks because he thinks he's a celebrity. And he's hot you know what. So that's my message for today. Support Freedom Watch. Purchase my book. See what we're up against. See why we have to wage a second American revolution peacefully and legally, and why you got to turn off Fox News if you're a conservative, or MSNBC or CNN if you're a leftist. Get to work. Step up to the plate. Get up off the couch. Join Freedom Watch's Justice League and support our hard-hitting cases and citizens' grand juries. Share this podcast far and wide. You can find it on freedomwatchusa.org, on radioamerica.com, on Spotify, iTunes, Twitter, the new parlay, which is the antidote to Twitter, Facebook. Share it far and wide. Get the truth out. Radio America allows me to tell the truth. You are the next Paul Revere's. You need to sound the clarion call. So God bless you. God bless America. God save America. God is with us. But to help God, we have to help ourselves. And that's what we now need to do. Forget about the Anthony Fauci's of the world. They're a bunch of clowns in it for themselves. And get to work. I'll be back Monday with another special podcast. Until then, listen to my weekly radio show on radioamerica.com. You can get it at freedomwatchusa.org. And in about 50 stations throughout the country, it's broadcast in terms of actual radio. I'll be back Monday. Thank you for listening to me.
This is Derek's O'Reilly Auto Parts story.
After the third time jump-starting my car, I finally realized my battery was dying. So I stopped by O'Reilly to have it checked. They tested it right there in the parking lot. It was bad, real bad. But they helped me find the right battery for my car and even installed it for free. Now my car starts like new.
O'Reilly.